Hey guys, Ted McGrath. So I want to share how to make the sale and make sure that you don't handle the wrong objection. So coming to you late here from Clearwater, Florida. Wanted to get in a little content today on closing. So, I've been closing in many situations year to years, years to years after years after years. One on one, one to many, and also from the stage, of course. And so one of the things that I've learned in closing one-to-one and from the stage is you have to handle the objections, but you have to handle the right objections. And so if you're ever in a sales cycle and you find that it's not moving, it's typically because you're trying to handle the wrong thing. And so I had an experience of this morning. I have experiences of this all the time when I'm speaking from the stage. And if we don't get the room to move and go to the back of the room or grab the envelope, then you experience people don't close. And so the first thing when you're doing this in a one-on-one situation is to make sure that you're not handling the right objection. So if you find yourself handling something that is not handling, one of the questions that I like to ask is, what am I missing? And I often find that if you ask the customer, hey, I've been talking about this for a while. It seems like you want this thing. What am I missing? What are you not telling me? Oh, no, nothing. No, really. Like there's something I'm missing here, something maybe you haven't shared with me, just share it, it's okay. And boom, they share the thing. And so when you get to what's underneath the objection for the customer, when you get to the truth, the sale will happen very, very quickly from there, because the person will light up, they'll smile a little bit, they'll change their tone. And the moment they change their tone, where they smile a little bit or they get a little bit more excited or they lean in, that's when you go in for the close and you get the credit card. So this is the number one thing that causes sales cycles to last very long. It's handling the wrong objection, okay? Or getting only part of the objection and not getting what's underneath it. So again, the major question you ask somebody when they're not handling on something, let's say it's a money situation and they've told you a little bit about their money situation, and they're like, yeah, I got the money, but I'm really not ready to do this. Be like, hey, so, I totally get this. It seems like your number one goal is the most important thing for you. Yeah. So I understand that, you have the money. It looks like the money's right here. You told me it's in the checking account. So what am I missing? No, nothing. I told you. No, really. I get it that you told me everything, but maybe something you're not saying or you're not voicing, or maybe something you forgot to tell me. Like there's something that's missing here. Oh, it's ba, 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 boom. And the ba, 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 ba will be the thing that's underneath it that handles that thing that you're on, if it's money, or the ba, 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 ba will reveal the true objection that maybe it's not money, maybe it's I don't believe in myself, or maybe it's not money, maybe it's that I have to talk to my spouse. And then you get on the right objection. And when you get on the right objection, you'll get good communication. You get somebody who moves faster through the cycle with you. And as the cycle moves on faster, you realize you're handling the right thing. And the moment you've handled the right thing, that's when you go in for the credit card and the actual close, okay? So handle, close, handle, close. Always handle by getting all of the information on the objection and finding out what you're missing. That will help you close 100% of the time. So that's the first thing I want to share with you in handling the objection one-on-one. Now, if you need to handle objections from the stage, for those of you who want to speak from the stage, I was just doing a seminar, I think 2.5 weeks ago. We do them every month and a half or so, okay? The last one we did was in Miami. And so when I'm making the pitch from the stage, when you're presenting in video, when you're presenting from the stage, one of the things you'll run into often is you can't communicate with the audience very often in a large room. So if you're in a large room, you can handle, or a small room, you can handle objections with people and you can kind of talk through things with the group. It's dangerous to do that because you could open up a can of worms that you can't handle, but if you're very skilled, you could have communication with people about what they're thinking about the offering. But most of the time in a large group, if you're presenting, like you're on a webinar or you're on a stage, you want to handle the objections throughout the presentation. And so when I'm closing in a presentation format in a group, there's 4 main objections that I handle. Number 1, the first thing I do is I give a great presentation and I make a call to action. And if I give a great presentation with success stories will often handle some of people's objections or considerations. Now, you're not overtly handling it. You're sharing a success story of somebody who was here and then somebody who ended up here having this type of success. And normally doing that, the client who's stuck here, who saw somebody cross over here and succeed, will go, wow, that handled something for me. Now, they're not going to say to themselves, wow, that handled something for me. They go, wow, I can do it. Or wow, if this person who didn't have a lot of resources and money can do it, I can do it too. Or wow, well, that person's young like me. If they could do it, I could do it. Or wow, that person's in their 80s and they still have a bigger purpose. So success stories that speak to your ideal audience are very important. You should have one of a woman. You should have one of a man. You should have different types of success stories. You should have one of somebody who's younger, one of somebody who's older. And those success stories will typically handle 50 to 60% of the objections. So that's number one. But the second thing you should do is when you're handling the objections in a presentation format, you should speak to it, the core objection of, I have to think about it. So the way you handle that is simple. Hey, many of you are in this room today and you're thinking to yourself, hey, I need to think about it. But the question I have for you is, how long have you been thinking about that? In fact, you traveled to this seminar or you took an hour out of your day for this entire webinar presentation. And the truth is, how long have you been thinking about taking action on this thing before you showed up today? So not only have you been thinking about this for 2 years, some of you, or 5 years or 10 years, but now you're sitting on this presentation or you're sitting in the seminar room and you've been here for 2 days and you're still thinking about the thing. And when 2 years go by, you're going to look back and you're still going to be thinking about it and you're going to regret it and you're going to wish you had done something. So rather than thinking about something, if you'd like to get into action right now, I invite you to get into action and do the smart thing, which is go after the thing that's most important to you. So stand up, grab the envelope, or click the button and go to the checkout page. And that just very conversation gives somebody permission to go, yeah, I was thinking about it. Geez, why am I still thinking about this? I want to do it. Second one is money, right? So in a money situation, you can handle it a couple of different ways, but I like to tell during the money situation a money story. Okay. And when you tell a money story about somebody maybe who, hey, 10% of you in this room, you're just jumping up right now, you're grabbing the envelope or you're clicking on the button, you're going to the offer. There's 10% of you that are just quick starts, right? And you just go do it. But there's a whole nother percentage of you right now that are thinking, I don't have the money. And there's two kinds of people in relation to this. There's the people who have the money, but don't really want to part with it. So you don't think you have the money. So you're like, I got $250,000 sitting here in my retirement plan, but I don't want to part with that money. So you have the money, but you didn't slot that money for this investment here today. You put in a retirement plan to forget about it. And quite frankly, you've forgotten about it because the very money that you could use right now to invest in yourself, you've forgotten about it. So you're not even thinking with it. So you do have the money. So those of you who have the money, just do something about it, right? And at the end of the day, you could invest in a retirement plan, which 10, 15, 20 years from now, you're going to use the money, or you could make a smart choice and invest in yourself now and go after your dream or get the thing that you want and experience the joy of doing it now today and investing in yourself, which is the best investment you can make. And boom, that handles most of the people, right? Or if it's a business opportunity, you can say, hey, you're perfectly willing to invest in stocks and mutual funds in other people's businesses, but you're not ready to invest in yourself because are you lacking the belief that you can actually do this? Or are you lacking the faith that you can actually succeed in this thing or accomplish this result? It's time to start investing in yourself. So go ahead and do that. And that'll handle people who have money but they just haven't slotted it. Hey, and then some of you that are sitting there going, I don't really have the money. It's really, maybe you don't physically have the money, but what you're really saying at this point is that you're not willing to be resourceful. When I started my business, years and years ago, I spent all my money, right? I left, I burned through my retirement plan. I got the $1 million condo, $100,000 car, and this was over a decade ago. And I just spent everything. And I partied, and I blew my money. I had nothing. And I had a decision to make. I could either find a way to get resourceful to invest my dream, or I could go back to do what I was doing before, and that wasn't an option. So I went out and I got investors. I got $450,000 of investment money for people to invest in my company because I was resourceful to go find money. So there's plenty of money. You're just not willing, and you're not willing to be resourceful to go find that money. So if you're not willing to be resourceful, there's nothing I can do if you're not willing. But if you are willing, then take a closer look, because maybe there's credit cards you could access. Maybe there is money that's an emergency money. Maybe there's somebody who can lend you money in your family. And that is the money close, and that will handle an entire room on the situation, okay? So those are the three things that I like to do. And then the final thing is some type of thing that has to do with loss or regret. I like to tell a personal story. So tell a personal story maybe where you went through loss. I tell a story about my grandparents, something that's real to me and true to me, but it really puts the purpose there of like, wow, I don't want to look back and be like 40 years into the future and be on my rocking chair looking back going, man, I wish I had done something more with my life to live an extraordinary life. So if that's you, then you need to click the button down below or you just stand up and grab the envelope. And when I do this in a room, I can tell you, when I first make my first call to action, if my presentation is really good, like 2.5 weeks ago, I can get a huge percentage of the room to stand up for even a $35,000 or $55,000 offer. Okay, like 43% of the room on my last event. Okay, but 30% came right away, and then I had to work for the other percent of people, and I worked to get them through handling these objections that I'm sharing with you right now. So oftentimes on your first call to action, you may get like 20 to 25% of your results from your first call to action. If you keep working the objections, you'll get the other 75%, and that's 4x or 3x. So you're gonna make one call to action and get one client or one portion of the result, but you're gonna make multiple calls to action and 3 to 4x what you normally would have gotten. And if you make many calls to action, you do 5, 6, 7x what most normal people get. So that's how you close. Hope this serves you. If you like it, ask a question, leave a comment. I'm doing content like this every day, so anything you want to know more about, you can put it down below, and I'm happy to answer some questions and deliver more content like this. Hope this served you guys, and see you in the next video.